What about Instagram? Are we live? Hey everyone, have you ever wondered about money? Have you ever understood money? Do you wonder where does money come from? And more importantly, how do I get more money? Well, today I'm going to be breaking that down exactly for you as if you are my 3 year old son and I'm trying to tell you how money works. Now, this is coming from somebody who has been broke before, made money, who went broke again, and then made a lot of money after. I'm talking to the tune of, you know, multiple six figures in a day, even seven figures in a day. Okay, so I'm going to show you exactly how money works. But the first thing is that, guys, you need to understand money. But more specifically, I'm going to be talking about money from a different perspective. Okay, I'm going to be talking about dollar bill. Money is a created concept. So for you to understand money, you have to understand who created the concept of money, why they created it, and how and what systems they put in place to monitor it, okay? And here they are, okay? Before money was created, okay, what we call notes, like your dollars, your pounds, your euros, whatever the case may be, it used to be an avenue of trade. What does that mean? That means if I was a farmer, okay, and I grew cows, goats, horses, and rams, and you were a shepherd and you made milk, cheese, we would actually exchange, okay, services or goods, okay? So you will give me a goat and I will give you a horse. No, you'll give me a goat and you'll get milk, okay? Or I'll give you a horse and you give me cheese, okay? So there was an exchange of services. So when you hear a lot of people say that money is an exchange of value, what they're literally saying is money is a trade of goods and services. So whenever you hear that word, oh, you have to provide value to the marketplace. What they're saying is, what goods and services are you providing that somebody is willing to trade something that they hold, something that they treasure with you for? Okay, so that's the first thing. Understand that. Okay, the first thing we have to understand, like I said, money is just a representation of value. Okay, and value by definition is services and goods that are exchangeable. Here's the key word here, okay? Exchangeable, okay? Services and goods that are exchangeable. Some of us are struggling because the services and goods that we're the most proud of, that we spent forever learning, that we spent forever studying, that we got a PhD in, it is not an exchangeable service or good, okay? What do I mean by that? Meaning that somebody in the marketplace is not willing to exchange some of their money for some of your expertise. So I'll give you an example. If you had a house, okay, and your sink broke, okay, no matter how much somebody comes to me that had artwork, it doesn't matter how beautiful the painting is, it doesn't matter the type of pyrographics they use, it doesn't matter the paint they use, the oil fragments, that doesn't matter to me. If I need my sink fixed, the only exchangeable form of services and goods I'm willing to pay for at that time is that of a plumber. Okay? So if you understand that, then you understand the first answer to solving the money problem is not, are you smart enough? It's not, are you the best? It's not, are you the wisest? The first question you must answer is, what services and goods are people willing to exchange money for? Okay, this is so key. What services and goods are people willing to exchange money for? And here's the key. At different times, at different generations, at different ages, people are willing to exchange money for different things. I'll give you an example. In the Stone Age, okay, people were willing to exchange money, gold, silver, whatever the case may be, for tools. So tools were one of the most largest forms of exchangeable services and goods, okay? Let's say in the age of farming, okay? People were willing to exchange money for farming equipment, for example, okay? In the age of tech, people are willing to exchange a lot of money for what? For code, okay? Code and code services. Now, yes, there are other things that people are willing to exchange money for. Yes. But what I'm trying to help you to explain is the easiest and fastest way for you to understand and get some money is to understand what in the current generation, in today's generation, are people exchanging money for in terms of goods and services. Okay? And here are the three categories. Number one, people in today's generation are exchanging money for convenience. Write that down. Convenience, okay? Who is the number one provider of convenience in the United States? Okay, according to stats, 85% of American households have this person's service. Okay? Amazon, Prime Shipping. Okay, 85% or so of American families have a Prime membership. You pay him year over year. Why? Because he provides convenience. Write that down. That's one of the first and easiest things you can provide for clients to get access to capital. When we talk about providing value, one of the goods and services you can provide is convenience. And here's the thing. You can provide convenience for people who don't have a lot of money, or you can provide convenience to people who have a lot of money. And depending on who you serve, depends on the rate that you get paid. I'll give you an example. The people who have the most time actually value time the most. I want you to pause and think about that again. The people who have the most time value time the most. There's a scripture in the book of Proverbs. It says that for he who has, actually it's in the book of Luke, it says for he who has, more will be given to him. But he who does not have, even that which he has will be taken away from him. What that verse refers to is resources. Those who usually have some of a resource or an abundance of a resource, they value it so much, they're willing to pay for more of it. So for people who are actually big on time and time management, especially the wealthy, okay, they will pay a lot of money to save a little bit of time. For example, they will pay $20,000 to $40,000 to take a private jet for 8 hours to the Bahamas for a mastermind and come back in 24 hours. How do I know that? Because I paid about $20,000 to $40,000 to join a group of friends on a private jet to go to the Bahamas and be back within 24 to 48 hours. Okay, why? Because I value time. I value convenience. So because I have a lot of time, I'm willing to pay more for time. Versus somebody who goes to work, works a 9 to 5, takes their car to work, they're willing to waste time to save money. So if you're trying to exchange the value of convenience, or another one, the value of speed, to somebody who doesn't value speed, you're always going to be broke. The problem with a lot of you guys is not that your services are wrong, or your product is wrong, or your branding is wrong, your customers are wrong. I'll give you an example. Depending on the environment, the price of a bottle of water changes. I'm going to say that again. Depending on the environment, the price of a bottle of water changes. If you go to 7-Eleven, you can buy a bottle of water for how long? $1. Oh my gosh, just $1. If you go to Starbucks, okay, water maybe with a little bit of tea, okay, that's a couple of bottle of water will be $5. You go to the movie theater, like I did recently, okay, a bottle of water might be $7. You go to a restaurant, a high-end restaurant, they'll ask you sparkling or still, okay, and you don't even know which one is which, like sparkling, still, what, how, okay. Still is regular water. Sparkling is the one that's like soda-like. I had to discover that myself. Okay? And depending on which one you want, there's a restaurant I went to in DC one time, a bottle of water, no exaggeration, $10. Now here's the question. What makes the difference between the $1 bottle of water and the $10 bottle of water? They can say it's fancy, it's from the spring from Alaska that flows through your hair and makes you feel young. But the truth is, it's the environment, it's the customers. So the first thing you need to look at, if you're struggling to make money and you know your offer is good, you know your service you provide is valuable, is who are your customers? And here's the thing, you have to be willing to ditch the lower customer for the higher one. Now, there's no hurt feelings, okay? I'm not saying that lower tier customers do not deserve to be served. Matter of fact, I believe they deserve to be served the most. Why? You can serve them with free content. You can serve them with low ticket products. But when it comes to your main services and products, listen to me, guys. Some of you might be willing and must ditch your customers. What do I mean by that? I was watching a video of a young guy, okay, on TikTok, and he's one of the best flippers of pizza on the internet. To the fact that he gained a huge audience, over 600,000 people are following him, flipping pizza at Papa John's. This young man has 600,000 followers, but he still only makes $11 an hour flipping pizza at Papa John's. Does that make sense? For somebody like Salt Bae, same following on the internet. All he did was this. I want you guys to really understand this. All he did was this. But because he chose his customers wisely, he didn't just stay on the internet flipping salt. He created high-end restaurants where you can spend $1,000 to $2,000 per plate to eat, and he became a millionaire seemingly overnight. Why? Because he chose to ditch the cheaper customer for the higher paying customer. So number one, like I said, you want to know what value you're providing. Number two, provide a higher level of value. Serve the highest possible customer you can. I'll give you an example. I know how to walk. You probably, if you're watching me, know how to walk to a certain degree. Okay, let me get some water here. Does that mean you should dedicate your life teaching people how to walk? No, why not? Because that is a waste of your time, okay? That customer that you're servicing, the service, okay, of teaching somebody how to walk is too low tier for the value you provide. Same thing with clients. You need to choose your highest level of transformation. What transformation do you offer best to your clients? And that's what you need to start providing, okay? Now, this is understanding the flow of money. I'm telling you guys how to get it. I'm working backwards, okay? I'm going to start with how to get it. Then I'm going to break down the core principles. But pay attention to this, okay? Number one, convenience in this time of age. Number two, speed. Another thing people pray for, write this down, guys. Insight. This is key. Information, okay? In this day and age, people will pay for information. Why? Because information leads to new transformation. My coach, Mario Gola, used to say this. He says that the difference between where you are and where you want to be is exactly the difference between what you know and what you don't know. So those who have special insights into very specific things can charge a lot of money depending on the results that expertise gives them. Because remember, when we talk about adding value to the marketplace, just replace the word value for goods and services, okay? What goods and services can I offer to a crowd of people, to my customers, to have them pay me in exchange for their money or their time? Okay, so what do I mean by that? I'm somebody who has a program. I teach people how to trade stocks. I spent 8 years of my life learning how to do this. And I condensed 8 years of my life into 8 hours coaching program. We can learn how to do this and make money doing this full time. That is insight that people don't have. And because I have insight, I'm able to charge anywhere from literally $1,000 for a home study course all the way to $50,000 for my one-on-one masterminds and mentorships for people to do this. Why? Because I have insight. The Bible says it's like this. With wisdom, a house is built. With understanding, it is established. And with knowledge, it is filled with precious things. The thing that you're missing, if you're not earning enough, or you say, hey, Josh, but I don't have a value that I can offer to the marketplace that's going to be enough to set me free financially. What you got to do is you have to learn it. Okay, you need to gather information. And if you're watching this on the chat, I want you guys to type out in the chat information. Okay, information is what's going to set you free. Matter of fact, not only information, write this guys down, the speed of the information you know. Okay, and I spent all day trying to get here, and this is one of the most important parts of this video. I want you to pay attention very closely. I don't know why I'm standing here like I'm a Baptist preacher. Now I'm sweating, and the camera guy's looking at me all funny. But I want you to pay attention to this. Every piece of information you know carries a certain speed and a certain frequency. Write that down. Every piece of information you know carries a certain speed and a certain frequency. Matter of fact, I'll give an example. The speed of light moves at 186,000 miles per second. So every second that goes by, light can move 186,000 miles. Versus sound, the speed of sound, to cover the same 186,000 miles takes 10.74 days. The speed of light is literally 10 days faster than the speed of sound. What does that have to do with making money? Everything. The information you know and that you're using is operating at the speed you're living at. The reason why somebody like Jeff Bezos can make $1 million a minute, somebody like Mark Cuban can make $600,000 a minute, somebody like Ravi, one of my business coaches, can make $5,000 an hour, while some people make $3 an hour, is not because they're smarter than you. It's not even because they're more handsome than you or prettier than you. It's because the information they have works 10 times, 20 times better than the information you have. And not only better, it works 20 times faster. And to prove this, okay, I'm going to show you that you actually already know this and you didn't know that. The speed of information of working a job is actually told to you. If you work a job, how long did they tell you have to work that job before you retire? 40 years. The speed of the information of your 4-year degree or 8-year degree is literally 40 years until retirement. And the problem is they have never told you that you do not have to choose to operate at that speed. You can actually choose the information and the speed you operate under. So how do you move at the speed of light? How do you get to your goals faster? Great. You need to get access to information that works faster than the information you have. And how do you get that access? Great. Mentors. Okay? And I'm not just talking about any old mentors. You need to find a mentor that's moving at the speed that you want to, that moves from where you are now to where you want to be in a short amount of time. And then you need to ask them, what information do you know? What information do you believe? What information have you executed that moved you faster than you are now? One of my coaches, Myron, he did a video how he went from literally broke as a joke to making $41 million in 4 years. How does somebody go from being broke to making $41 million in 1 year? How? Because he understands that certain information moves at a certain speed. I'm going to give you a cheat code right now. One of the fastest moving pieces of information when it comes to speed financially is literally, and I told you guys, mentorship. There is nothing that can propel you faster than joining a mentorship, especially an expensive one. The more expensive, the better. Why? Because the bigger the numbers, the more it makes sense. When I joined a $10,000 mentorship, it taught me how to make $10,000 a month. When I joined a $25,000 membership, it taught me how to make 25, 30K a month. When I joined a 155K mentorship, it taught me how to make $1 million a day. You see, the bigger the numbers, the more it makes sense. Now, that might sound crazy, like it doesn't make sense to you. But what you have to understand is that these mentorships provide you 3 things. Okay? Number 1, information, insight. Okay? I talked about that. Number 2, relationships. Okay? What you do by joining an expensive mentorship, and here's the thing, it doesn't have to be 155,000. Do what you can do for you. If your expensive mentorship is 5,000 or 10,000, join that. If your expensive mentorship is a thousand, 2,000, join that. What I'm saying is that when you join an expensive mentorship, what you do is that you buy a new circle of friends. There's a study done out there that you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with. One of the easiest and quickest way to change the 5 people you hang around with is to pay for access. Pay for access to relationships. Pay for access to rooms where if everybody in the room are millionaires, you're going to be the sixth one. I remember there's some mentorships that I've joined over the years that now I have more 7, 8, and 9 figure friends than not. How's that possible? Because I spend over 6 figures a year in mentorships and masterminds. And if you don't know where to start and you want to accelerate your speed, this is number one, mentorship. Number two, okay, relationships. Okay, I told you to give you a relationship boost. Okay, you get to increase your circle of friends. But the third thing mentorships get to do for you, write this down, is belief. This is one of the most underrated parts of mentorships that you will never know. For me, it was unfathomable for me to think that I could make $1 million a day. I couldn't think about it. If somebody told me it was a dream, I told them they were lying. I said, "Are you Joseph? You lying." Okay? But when I got into a room where that was people's norms, I was able to borrow their belief and execute on their belief until it became my own. So what it did is that it raised my expectations, and not only did it raise my expectations, it raised my execution. Guys, I'm literally teaching you guys step by step how to do this, okay? So because if you understand that information, relationship, and belief can be gained in mentorship, that'll be the very first place I'll start. Number two, okay? The Bible says this in the book of Exodus. Oh my God, there are so many gems. I don't know whether I have enough time. I'm going for about 24 minutes. I might do a part 2 of this. In the book of Exodus, it says this. It says that Moses, I have given to you Bezalel, the son of Hur. I believe that's his name. Okay? And he will be filled with the spirit of wisdom in all manner of workmanship, craft, gold making, etc. And if you go one verse down, I believe it's verse 4, it says that, and I have given to him Dan, okay? And it said very specifically, pay attention to this, right? It said, pay attention. It said that everyone who was wise, I gave them wisdom. Pause. Listen to that statement. He said, to everyone who was wise, I gave them the spirit of wisdom. What does that mean? People think that wisdom is something that you can only pray for. And yes, you have to pray for it. But you can access wisdom by exhibiting wisdom. Another way to say it is use it or lose it. Your level of ability now, if you're a cook, start cooking. Okay? If you're a chef, start chefing. If you're a teacher, start teaching. What I'm doing right now, I was there as heck to do this. You think I want to come up on a Tuesday night and do a live? But when I understood this principle that, hey, if you exercise and use wisdom, that more wisdom will actually be given unto you, I said, heck, I got to put this to use right away. Okay? Because another way to say it, again, in the book of Luke, it says this, for he who has, more will be given. So if you want to increase your wisdom, or specifically what we're talking about here, if you want to increase your money-making ability, what you already know how to do to make money, start doing it. If you know how to cut hair for $2, guess what? You better run them $2 haircuts. I remember my very first business, I was 11, and I literally used to cut my dad and my brother's hairs, okay? $2 a pop. And it was so funny because I really thought I was running a real business. Like, my dad would try to negotiate and say, okay, Josh, $1.50 this time. I said, no, Dad, it's $2 or you're getting a cut. And my dad would literally pay me $2. And I was pressed about that $2 at the age of 11. Why? I was exercising a muscle because the more I exercise it, the more I use it. So whatever level of knowledge you have, whatever level of wisdom you have, whatever business idea you thought about, go ahead and start it. Because guess what? When you start it, more will be revealed. Mark Zuckerberg said it like this, okay? He had a commencement speech at Harvard. And he said, "Do you guys think I knew everything I had to know about connecting people over the world?" He said, "Heck no." He said, "All I had was a seed of an idea." And I said, "An idea only gets executed once it starts being worked on." So what you have to do is start working on your idea. Do it scared, do it imperfectly, just do it. Don't come for me, Nike, okay? Just do it, guys. So I'm gonna go over part two, okay? Part two, I'm gonna talk about the 11 types of wisdom. Okay, everybody talks about wisdom in the Bible, but they don't understand that there are literally 11 different types of wisdom. I'm gonna talk about that on the next video, on the next live. If you have any questions, comment down below. Let me know if you enjoyed this, if you want more of this. Peace and love. Josh shining out.